This tour is presented by Merritt Kitchens. Your tailored kitchen awaits.
We are in downtown Toronto on the 62nd floor of the Shangri-La in this beautiful apartment that we renovated for our client. The previous condo, the layout was the same, but we really wanted to elevate all the finishes and make it a lot more luxurious and add a really masculine touch, as this is a single homeowner who lives here by himself. My colleague Sharlene was the lead designer on this project. We worked together on the concept, and then she really brought the project home and brought all the details together.
Honestly, he was a very easygoing client. He didn't give us very many parameters in terms of what he liked and didn't like. He just said he wanted something on the more contemporary side, masculine, and then that's where we went to work and brought in, the darker wood tones, a lot of natural stone, but with a more muted masculine palette, and the burnished brass and metal tones. He did give us one rule to stick with, and he said no green. So there's really not much green throughout the condo. He loves blue. One of the main design parameters for this room was to create a sense of comfort and coziness. Our client works long hours and he wanted to come home to an oasis. One of the design challenges in this main area that we had to contend with was this giant column that was on the wall of the fireplace. We didn't want the column to be noticeable at all, but also we didn't want it to divide the space into a living room and dining room because our client actually did not want a formal dining room. So what we opted for was a living room space where he could watch TV, and then towards the window, a lounge area where he could just have a little moment to himself. Because we wanted to conceal that column, we did so by making it blend in with the cabinetry on this wall. We used a dark walnut reeded panel finish and touch latch doors, so there is no hardware. It all kind of looks like one column, but in fact there is a lot of functionality packed in with the storage. We decided on this beautiful Venato Vecchia slab, which has muted tones of blues and grays and this beautiful purple that ties in well with all the other furnishings throughout the house. One of my favorite pieces is this beautiful 21-foot rug that we obviously had to custom design. There is a bit of an angle to the room, so the rug was designed with a bit of an angle to follow the shape of this room. The sofa, we wanted ultimate softness while still being durable. So we chose performance chenille fabric in this beautiful blue that we thought really tied with the rug and also our slab. Adjacent to the living room, we designed this small relaxation nook with two very comfortable armchairs. If our client was, ever taking phone calls, that could be somewhere he chooses to sit while he does so. And to the left of the fireplace area, we were gonna actually make that a bar area, but he doesn't really drink too much. And he said he would have much preferred a little workspace. So we added a desk with some shelves and added a really functional workspace for him. The kitchen was a full gut. The client wanted something that was functional and still had lots of storage capabilities. We have a lot of materiality here. We have our beautiful dark walnut millwork, and then we have our metal hood in a burnished brass finish. On the countertops, we chose to do the regular Taj Mahal on the perimeter cabinets, and on the island, we did a Taj Mahal black in a leathered finish, and it picks up the light so beautifully. The reflection on the leathered slab is just so spectacular. We knew that the island really needed to be a moment. It is one of the first big items that you notice as you're entering the space. Starting with our countertop edge detail, instead of going for the more traditional style of waterfall that goes all the way down to the floor, we decided to cut it at a halfway point to just make it a little bit more interesting and different. We knew we needed something large and almost sculptural to balance out the height of the ceilings while still keeping it nice and airy throughout the space. So we chose to do the same pendant in two different sizes, and we hung them at varying heights to create this beautiful cloud over the island. The client did request tile throughout the kitchen, but because the space is so open concept, there was no clear way we could cut off the tile without it looking strange. So we opted to do a beautiful tile inlay to incorporate both functionality and beauty. In the corner of our kitchen, we have our light-filled breakfast nook. We chose to not do draperies so that when you're sitting at the table, you can really take in the beautiful view in this corner of the home. Since this condo is part of the residence side of a hotel, we wanted to bring in a very hotel-esque feel for the bedroom, keep it very elegant and elevated. Our headboard, we chose to do floor-to-ceiling detail with this, and there's a lot of different materials being used. We have the beautiful dark walnut wood, and then we have a piece of strapping in our burnished brass finish, and then the center is an upholstered panel, and it creates a really beautiful layered look. Prior to our renovation, the ensuite was a very cool palette, very white and gray. The walls were covered in slabs. It did have an elegant look, but the details weren't executed perfectly. On some walls, we actually noticed that there were 2 different slabs being used. So we stripped all of that away and opted for a tile half wall. And then again, bringing in that sense of quiet and calming energy that we wanted to create throughout the principal suite, we went with a more cream and neutral palette, and that's where our Taj Mahal slab really shines. We wanted the bathtub to be an eye-catching feature in this bathroom, so we decided to go with a black exterior paint finish and raise the tub up on a little bit of a step. It just adds a little bit more drama to that tub area. In the study, he did have a couple of requirements. He did tell us that the way he works, he does need 2 desk surfaces because he likes to read at one desk and then be on a computer at the other desk. That's why you'll notice we did a freestanding desk centered in the room and then a desk along the perimeter facing the window, which he chose to put the computer on. The study also functions as our client's second closet. He has a lot of shoes, and he wanted us to design the closet to be integrated with the millwork. You'll see the tall cabinets on the right side. That's all for our client's clothing and additional shoes. Our powder room, although it's a small space, we really wanted to pack a lot of drama and beauty into this space. So we chose to use the same slab from the living room, the Venato Vecchia, with a beautiful wall-hung vanity that floats, and it has an integrated sink, which we think is perfect for a powder room setting. Then on the other walls, we opted, instead of a trim baseboard, to go with a slab baseboard that coordinates with our half wall, and in that way, we balance the amount of slab we used in the powder room. Coming back into this space always surprises me with the amount of different slabs that we used. At first, we were bringing in so many different slabs and we thought maybe it'd be too much, but now that it's all installed, I just love how beautifully everything ties together.
I think the space is so beautiful. It feels really relaxing and refined, and that it really is the perfect space for a hardworking man to spend his off hours.